and having a good time to really scale up. Because Akashi should find momentum early on regardless. He can always use the hook to regain some farm in case the early start is not going as well. But my main concern is the sniper. It's felt underwhelming in a lot of games we've watched. It should lane 5SF. But again, I just really don't like ghillie suit. It's so underwhelming. I mean, if the hero works without having to rely on a facet, I guess it's fine. I'm just not a fan.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, look, it makes enough sense, John. I know you hate the facet. I don't think it's that bad, right?
Yeah, but it only activates when you take aim, when it's turned on.
But it literally makes you unseeable in fog. Like, it's pretty, you know, in that sense, it's pretty strong.
Yeah, but ideally, you should be jumping the sniper anyway, in the back line, before the fight under vision or something. Right? Like, that's your ideal circumstance for the sniper.
But you can't see him now, is I think the point I'm trying to make here, John. If you can't see him, you can't jump him.
I suppose. No, it's only if he's in Fog of War. Again, the ideal circumstance to jump the sniper is preset vision anyway. And, you know, you initiate onto him. You're not hoping to just run into him. Right? Like, ideally, he is always under vision when you take those fights. Anyhow, I don't know. It's just weird. I've not seen a circumstance yet in any of the games where I'm like, oh, the ghillie suit definitely saved him hitting from the tree line.
I don't know what to tell you, John. These players, they like the ghillie suit. What can I say?
Sounds fun. It's a pretty cool named facet, to be fair.
Very thematically correct.
Who wouldn't want a ghillie suit? Yeah, who wouldn't want one? I think those are cool.
I think the thing that makes the shrapnel facet kind of bad is the fact that it lowers its duration. I don't think
at the same time, how long do you expect players to stand in shrapnel anyway? Level 1, people are willing to because the damage is so low. But at level 1, what damage is it? 100?
It's vision plus area denial. I don't think it's about the damage at all.
It's fair, but, you know, to win out lane against this harassment, that shrapnel could have made a difference. Still, Abed shouldn't have too hard of a time. Relatively easy to find all of these raises. Chuen down to half HP, and Abed is just laying onto him. One more.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Just like that.
I mean, it's,
no counterplay.
Mid-sniper. It's mid-sniper. What are you gonna... you know, I can't say I didn't expect this to happen.
Yeah, this is the important one for them to really win out on Blacklist. Have this running start for Abed. A solo kill like that should set a really good tone. I don't expect Chuen to have that much play. Maybe when you have take aim, but we're talking about, what, 2 points in take aim to really have that spacing. That's like level 4. I don't know how you're going to feel until level 4 there for Chuen. We've seen what happens when he's off to a slow start. But at the least, Abed is out of mana, only has the 1 mango left, so the same play isn't going to be coming out. I think Chuen understands it as well. Still, the bottle's up early off the kill. Abed, as long as he gets the water runes and the bounty runes down line, should be in a very secure spot. Can take a look at the other lanes while all of this is breaking out. Taking a look up top, you do have a Natsumi on the CK along with Zhao on that Disruptor, up against WS in the Slaughter and Jokam on the Hoodwink. Fairly straightforward lane for WS and Jokam. Same thing goes for Zhao and Natsumi. You have some aggression that can apply on both sides. The CK is a very durable target though, so more than likely you are going to try to gun down Zhao. But he does have a lot of range and distance to play with, so closing the gap onto that Disruptor is going to be a taller order. And again, there is threat here from Natsumi. Once he hits level 3, going 1-1-1 with Reality Rift, certainly not out of the realm of possibility to just jump WS or even Jokam if he's not too careful. I love that they cut the tree line here as well from Blacklist, just to ensure no places to really scurry around and to play with Bushwhack with. So not many options for Jokam to really try to work this lane out.
Well, how's this bottom lane going? They are actually making a jump right now. Ponyo. Well, Gabby's the one in danger now, trying to go for the kill, but it looks like Gabby's going to be punished for it as Akashi able to secure the kill. Tim's not out of the woods yet either. Beautiful hook here from Akashi. Ponyo will be there just to soak a bit of XP, I think, and Akashi eventually should have it, and he will. 2 kills to go the way of the Pos 1 Pudge, and that is horrible news for Blacklist Rivalry.
And that's not going to feel great. A little bit more strength to play with in the lane for Akashi. Just the Gauntlets of Strength already has 900 HP. You do manage to land a spear.
Oh, Gabby, no!
Oh boy.
He tried to mess around with the Lotus Pool, but missed the spear anyway. Well, he got the spear, but he missed the timing. Doesn't matter. Gabby's okay. He loses most of his HP, but he does not die. I was very confident he was about to make a walk of shame back, but not quite.
He is fairly durable with 2 bracers, but compared to a Pudge with just the Gauntlet, again, they have the same HP. Nice hook again from Akashi.
The Stroke of Fate will connect, though, ensuring that Tims will not allow Gabby to die, but Gabby's getting very, very close now to just losing his life if he's not too careful. Akashi, very good on the hooks, finding the perfect angles. Is now top lane, Natsumi to go down. Trying to get aggressive onto WS, but WS with the Bash to the Deep having his way with him. And the only winning lane right now for Blacklist Rivalry is at the SF lane in the mid lane for Abed. Apart from that, both side lanes are going quite poorly.
I feel like Blacklist can build off of this. You know, Chuen's going to be dead weight for a while. Their playmaking, there is a lot of playmaking, to be fair, from a core Pudge and Slardar. Just depends on those timings. But Abed's going to be a great launching point for Blacklist once he can connect. Maybe off the first power rune at the 6-minute mark, maybe the second one at 8. Both options are fairly feasible here for Abed. Love the confidence from Abed. Look at that. Just chasing down Chuen.
And he can. There's no TPs to come. Abed just having the freest game of his life thus far in the mid lane, finding another kill. And, you know, no TPs coming in to try and help him out either. It's a pretty rough affair for this mid sniper who is still at level 4, where Abed's about to hit level 6. Top lane. Natsumi's been caught again. The bushwhack is there from Tims, but they don't have the follow-up. Zhao is there with the glimpse back, so WS could not finish the job off. But Natsumi not having a great time as now Abed down a bottom lane does secure a kill onto Ponyo.
Yeah, just stuck a little bit too far forward, trying to, I don't know, secure this area. Look for, I suppose, a bounty. Keep that chase up on Tims. Does get punished. Abed is feeding off of all of these kills so well. 23 Necromastery charges, bonuses for each hero kill, lots of right-click damage to play with, lots of magical damage to play with. Yeah, no early answers here from Talon. You're going to have to wait for more levels up to be up on WS at the least until that's ready to go. Again, they can just play off of the SF more than anything else here on the side of Blacklist. They are sacking your side lanes quite a fair bit. Akashi and WS having a great time, but you aren't lagging too far behind in farm for Natsumi and for Gabby, considering these deaths. You are still finding some build-up, but you are certainly lagging behind. Let's see if they can keep that bullying up on Chuen. He has dipped into the jungle. There is good vision here from the side of Blacklist. They do spot out Ponyo camping for the 6-minute rune. And will still deny off the illusion anyhow on Jokam. And that's important. You have to slow down the SF. You have to take away any sort of rune set Abed can play with, as he is fairly terrifying right now. And maxed out raises, has the Requiem ready, level 2 Presence of the Dark Lord, some good minus armor to play with his right clicks. Not something you want to see on the side lanes right now from the side of Blacklist.
It really is just the Abed show right now for Blacklist Rivalry. All the pressure on him to make this game look a little bit better. At the very least, the side lanes have slowed down now. We haven't seen any kills happening ever since the last couple down at that, rather up at that top lane. So Ponyo's going to try and swipe away this Wisdom Rune from the dire end of things. See if he can sneak up before Tims gets there. He does have the Nightmare, so it shouldn't be the hardest, but a nice silence out from Tim's going to make it hard, and Ponyo will get stunned up. Abed's going to rotate. Akashi's here as well, but decides better of it. But Akashi now going to be left behind. Oh, I guess the Pudge going to find out the hard way that he probably should have just stuck to farming.
Really good rotation. Just bring Abed in to find these kills and to secure the Wisdom, knowing that Talon would want to contest. Not going to be able to find Ponyo at the least, and that does buy some space for Chuen mid. Poke and prod on the mid, tier 1. Not the quickest progress for the sniper, but it is some map pressure at the least. There's still some good vision out from the side of Blacklist to see that these stacks are being taken away, so they can contest and are in position to force a fight here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, somewhat, but Ponyo's just holding the high ground. Tims going to actually move in onto the Hoodwink, but the Nightmare is going to make it so he can't really follow up with that Bushwhack. The Bushwhack actually going to land on 2 now as Tims. Jokam still dropping. Abed from the backside does pop the Requiem, and that's going to be 2 supports now going down for Talon. Ponyo does at least find Tims before he does die, but it's still a very nice trade Zabed able to get a mega kill streak now on the SF.
Again, every kill he finds is bonus Necromastery over the limit. 25 now on the SF. Getting 75 additional damage, more than an amp damage rune right now. They do manage to clear out the top tier 1 with WS at least, so that space isn't fully going to waste. And it is a little bit concerning for how much Abed is getting. And he is rushing the Blink Ags, so he's looking for the blow up, knowing that it's going to be all about tempo here for him to buy that space out for his other cores. The Blink Ags is going to be terrifying once it's up. See if that timing lines up. Talon 4-6, still maintaining slight net worth lead, but Abed has truly eclipsed everyone, and there has been enough space for Gabby and Natsumi to catch up with the rest of the cores. So you're not lagging too far behind from those side lanes now on Blacklist's end. See if they can keep finding more.
Nice glimpse back from Zhao. Nothing that can be done to help out either. The silences from Tim's going to make it impossible to follow up as Abed finds another kill. Now looking down towards the bottom lane where Gabby has died, but they are still trapped within that arena. It won't matter though. Still the TP's not quick enough to allow them the turn potential, and of course Gabby was already down. So no point trying to force that fight.
Nice little pickup for Akashi. 3 stacks of the flesh heap up, a little bit more strength to play with, and helps him scale faster into his Ags timing. You know, once the Pudge does have the Ags, it's going to be an interesting counterpoint to the early Ags of Abed. Which one will feel more effective? It's going to be down to just how well Abed can initiate. He is switching out for the Eul's instead, so going for Blink, the old Blink Eul's Requiem play. Rather interesting we've gone all the way back to this. But we you know, I've been crying about not seeing mid-SF magic in a long time, so it's going to be interesting to see how much Abed can keep snowballing off the back of these item timings.
Well, I like it. I think the Magic SF's always a treat to watch, and I think there is plenty of scaling available if you can just keep the CS going for yourself. Sure, with a player like Abed, you know, you're able to get the right blinks with the right Requiems, and suddenly, you know, somebody gets blown up in the middle of a team fight. It is not a very nice feeling if you are that victim. Natsumi, top lane, a little bit cautious here as there is a couple heroes from Talon ready to go, but it's like he's going to have Tim's regrouping along with Abed up at this top lane. They did see Jokam there for a moment. The Jokam looking to just retreat is going to show himself. Going to find out the hard way. Abed is there. It does land a nice bushwhack, but it may just not matter. So Abed now picking up his 7th kill of the game.
27 Necromastery charges 701 on the SF. Doesn't even have to use the Requiem there. They are spotted through the gate with a ward. Akashi has to be careful.
Akashi will run, but Ponyo cannot. Ponyo will die. This time Natsumi will secure the kill for himself. The game continues to get worse and worse here for Talon now as Blacklist rivalry taking the net worth lead their way, and well, that bottom tier 1 tower, of course, not going to be lasting too long here.
Got the output. Again, Abed just playing so aggressive with his early start. Is going back for the Axe instead of the Eul. So he changes his mind once more. Once more of that damage on the Requiem. It's going to be such a quick timing. Maybe around 15 minutes in. Another smoke out from Blacklist. Still have all of their big spells available. Could line up into a nice push onto the mid-tier 1. These supports from Talon are so under-leveled. Jokam's still 4. Hasn't had the most room to really try to soak up.
Mid lane. The tier 1 mid tower going to melt very, very quickly here to Blacklist rivalry. There's no contest to be had by Talon yet. It does go back to the fact that your mid just was a complete failure, really. Like, Chuen has just not been able to join his team and help out at all on the sniper. Still so low on the net worth graph as well. Just barely just trying to farm up a Maelstrom for himself, but it's just such a slow process. It's just the recovery is just not going to be there for like at least another 15-20 minutes, it feels like, for the sniper.
It's going to be a long ride for Chuen. At the least, you have the blink of WS that you can maybe play off of. Again, you've got this Ags timing for Akashi that's only one part way into the blink BKB. That can offset some of that control that Blacklist does have on hand. They'll smoke up on Talon, use WS in the front line. They've got the grip ready, along with that fresh blink of WS.
Radiant are scanning.
Not going to find anyone yet. I mean, oh,
Abed.
Abed. He's a big target. Blink stun is there from WS and the Fiend's Grip. No messing around. Chuen will take the kill, and that is a very important kill for him to take. So he gets about a 1k gold out of that. He desperately needed that gold for himself, and Abed, he's a huge pickup. I mean, 7-1 and 2 now is the score for the SF.
Yeah. And that should lead into the faster Maelstrom for Chuen, which again will allow that recovery, which felt like it's going to take so long. That helps speed the process up. Great read from Talon. Very good patience from Ponyo to slowly creep his way up the stairs as well, not having the smoke broken on the flank. Don't know if the Natsumi is a feasible target without that Crypt. They're not going to be gunning for any more. They have managed to buy out all the space in the world. For Akashi, Ags is pretty much done. So the upgraded Rot is set to go. An overwhelming amount of magic damage very early on here for the Pudge. Just needs some of that durability on top with the BKB and the gap closing with the Blink. Still, Blacklist completely smoked up as 4. Arena ready, Soulbind ready. Requiem with the Blink Eul's is set to go as well. And they even find an Arcane Rune for Abed. Everything you could ask for before this fight breaks out.
They're running right towards Chuen. I mean, even though his net worth's nothing impressive, he has caught up quite nicely, being a great kill if they could get it, but instead they're going to find the Hoodwink. Joe Cam, actually still not dead, just standing his ground. He will accept the death eventually as Akashi going to get glimpsed back into the mid lane. So he cannot be here for this team fight now as Ponyo's just trying to run, but a nice arena. Gabby has caught a couple. Chuen is the big target. They'll pop the Requiem, and that's going to be a couple more to go down here for the side of Talon. And they really should have probably just got the hell out of there as soon as the glimpse back on Akashi made the team fight very uneven, but Ponyo was just way too far forward, and Chuen, I believe, had the save your buddy syndrome.
And it did feel like... Still, Ags is ready on Akashi. Just need to find a way to gap close. They know Static Storm. Arena is down. Requiem not too far off the mark, considering again Arcane Rune. Not sure if that opportunity will present itself. A big timing up now for Natsumi. Full Orchid up. Can take easy control when he does find a straggler around his area. For the side of Talon, really the big hurting point is still Chuen. The sniper just feels like it's going to take forever until it's really relevant in any way, shape, or form. Perhaps once you line up the BKBs on all 3 cores, that's the time for Talon still. Smoke out for Jokam and WS. They did have a forward ward up top by the mines. Could try onto Abed again. It feels a lot more difficult without the grip.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
We're looking at Tim's mid lane. Chuen will just go ahead and try to take the tier 1 mid tower. Blacklist rivalry not around the area, not too interested in trying to defend by the looks of it.
Dire's middle tower.
There goes your mid tier 1. So they'll let that go for free. Of course, Blacklist found the opposing tier 1 a long time ago, so they don't really care too much about losing that tower. The Talon's still having a hunt around on the northern side of the map, but find nothing for their time. Blacklist rivalry, it seems pretty obvious that they are smoked up here for Blacklist, because they are just grouped up by their triangle. Trying to make sure nobody gets picked off. And in a couple minutes, you're going to have the full SF Ags up on Abed. So they could just wait out for that and just go for the next team fight straight after. But you've got even the blink on Natsumi coming very soon as well. Yusifter on Gabby. Like, there's some very big key items coming here for Blacklist rivalry, which does mean they don't really need to rush for a fight. But they see Chuen. Now, pings are coming out from that mid lane. They see the sniper. But it seems like Chuen's going to get to the high ground of the triangle and he'll be okay.
So it's all about caution for side of Talon. For Blacklist, it's all about just keeping the scaling up. The scaling potential for Talon just feels very indirect here in comparison to what Blacklist has. Again, Ags and Akashi is great. We haven't seen its impact yet. He's not been able to put himself in these fights. There's that blink for Natsumi you were mentioning, so gap closing for the CK a lot easier now as well. They're doing a great job of just cutting the creep waves with a Phantasm Illusions on top of everything else. Just cutting off to prep for mid, to slowly shove in. The Talon don't really have play. They do poke and prod on Tims, but no one to really follow through from. Their wards are nice and aggressive, just hasn't really aligned for anything on Talon's part. And again, in the slower game, Blacklist is happy. It's Talon that feels like they have to play up-tempo here. And again, the scaling is just very indirect. Your Sniper is probably your best scaling hero. Your Pudge will hit a wall at some point, especially as BKBs and magic resistance start to kick in here for the side of Blacklist, if that's something they even consider. They do have control around a Roche Pit, but it doesn't feel like a quick process. Even with a Corrosive Haze, your right-click damage is limited. Blacklist are running under the wards, so there's an option. Talon smoke up.
They certainly do smoke up. WS trying to wrap through the back. Might just find Tim's first. And they will find him. The Grimstroke will just melt as Natsumi blinked forward, but they don't want the fight. Talon actually retreat, not opting to make the jump in on Natsumi. Surprisingly as well, by the way, because you already found the Grimstroke. You probably could have taken the follow-up fight. Maybe just not confident to take the fight, not knowing where Arbit is currently standing. And well, they will just use the twin gates here, Blacklist, and they'll get the hell out of it.
It is scary to force the 5v5 from Talon onto Blacklist. Again, Arena, Static Storm, Requiem, just way more AoE control coming out from the side of Blacklist. The BKBs aren't up yet on Talon's side. You'll have to wait. Ponyo.
No, it's Natsumi that blinks away from him.
Dire's top
Both sides almost kind of just terrified of each other right now by the looks of it. Lines being drawn towards the top lane by Talon, so it looks like they want to try and apply the pressure onto that T2 top tower. The Blacklist are kind of doing the same thing down bottom, and they are going to find themselves a Bane. So Ponyo, who stuck around down to that bottom lane, does finally get punished for it.
Dire's middle tower.
It seems that the TPs are going to come in to try and make sure that top T2 does remain defended, as Natsumi's having a look for a rift, but gets bushwhacked immediately by our Hoodwink Jokam. Still, they are coming in from the sides as well. Gabby going to help out. They'll lock down the Slaughter. WS does not really have any kind of play. He is dead.
Getting the big pickoffs they'd want here on Blacklist. Does cost them the Static Storm down bot. Again, doesn't feel like Talon really wants a big team fight anyhow. You can just use it for bonus pickoffs here on the side of Blacklist. 7-14, 5k lead for Blacklist Rivalry. As they can set up for Roshan, take the gate across. They've got the output to do so, if they so wished, but might be looking for more targets. Akashi.
Well, yeah, they're going to find Ponyo instead. Akashi might actually go for the fight, tries for the hook back on the Bane, but doesn't quite get there. So now it's definitely Roshan time if you are Blacklist Rivalry.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Just wait for the whole squad to get towards the pit. I feel like this really does all go back to that sniper pick, I tell you. Like, you just got absolutely wrecked in the mid lane. And there's just no play now for Talon apart from delay the game and just wait till you hit a bit of a spike yourself. But that is about where we are. It's Blacklist Rivalry. They'll have first dibs on the Roshan. They'll take it pretty freely. No contest whatsoever.
Yep. No issues for Blacklist. They've got all the damage in the world. But Natsumi on hand. Nice Aegis to play with. Instantly using Gate, trying to snipe someone up top. They do have good forward vision. They spot out Akasha clearing, but he will back off right in time. These BKBs from Talon have to kick in. This is the important tool for them to actually even consider a fight. They'll spot out Jokam.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice easy pick off here on Jokam. He can try his best to scurry away from this scenario, but it really won't matter. He will drop. So Arbit's going to find himself an illusion rune to pick up, and it's still a very, very kind of slow game between these two teams now. 7-16, but Blacklist is well and truly in control. I mean, even the farm game kind of just favors them, I think, with an SF and a CK on top. Like, Chuen on the sniper, I don't really know how much impact he's going to have, even with all the farm in the world. But considering Natsumi does have the blink to just break the gap every single time on the sniper, it will make life hard. And now Ponyo going to get caught in the tree line of that mid lane. Will just get annihilated by Arbit. There's nothing to be done. Blacklist, they can safely look towards that mid tier 2 tower if they so wish. But lines are being drawn for the bottom tier 2, so they might go for that instead. Or maybe Gabby might even just find Chuen. In fact, Chuen will see Gabby blinking south. They'll miss out on Akashi as well, so Akashi gets a TP away. So successfully making their way out. is the side of Talon. But I think that's the only real gameplay here for Talon. Just don't get caught.
Pretty much. They're banking on some sort of high ground defense play. Again, they've got hook. They've got some repositioning skills. Can work out nicely. But I feel like this just boils down to a lot more teamfight than Blacklist. Again, Static Storm, Arena, Requiem. They've got good control with Soulbind. They've got really easy single target pickoff with Natsumi and Abed. You don't have any of those tools on Talon. You don't have the minus armor synergy with a Weaver Slaughter this time around. There's no real forward play for Chuen. Spot Gabby, but he's way too tanky for them to even consider with Nightmare. It just feels like the best bet for Talon is on the high ground defense, try to get a good hook with Akashi, and hope that everyone else from Blacklist isn't able to follow through.
Now Blacklist looking very good here. Just through the twin gates up towards the top lane they'll go. Not able to find a fight though. You've almost gotten to the stage where Akashi's going to have the BKB up now. So times can get a little bit scarier. The problem is Blacklist seem more than happy to just farm up their own items. Of course, you've got a Shiver's Guard on Gabby. Shards to be built up on Natsumi. All this time is probably going to allow Zhao to eventually pick up the Aghanim Scepter on the Disruptor. It's not like the farm doesn't go both ways. The BKBs are coming for Talon. In fact, the only BKB they're missing on their cores is going to be Akashi's. It's just, at this stage, how much of a difference is that going to make? It's looking pretty negligible to me.
I think it still does make a difference. As it does make it so that your main concern will be Natsumi's physical output, and to an extent, got Abed, how much he does, with all of these Necromastery stacks. Even though he's gone full-on magical, of course, does still have a good amount of right-click damage to pump out. But it does allow some play, especially for the front line of the Pudge and of the Slardar, which is really the big important parts here for Talon's equation. Sniper is really just something in the back to dish some damage out while the front line gets work done. We'll lose a tier 2 here. Blacklist shoving in with no contest. Less than a minute left on the Aegis. So not too much time, but more than enough to just take control of the triangle, get some more forward vision down. Take control of the triangle, and just keep shutting Talon out. If you are inching towards the Mjolnir timing of Chuen, it's a decent amount of damage there, but just doesn't feel enough. Like this early spike for the Pudge feels like it's something that's already been eclipsed. And BKB is up, but we'll see if it's successful. Smoke out from Talon.
They're running right towards the side of Blacklist Rivalry, but they don't find anyone, as Gabby's actually going to catch Jokam down in the bottom lane on his own. And I guess at least they know Arena's down and Gabby's not around in the mid lane. Might be able to find Tim's, and they will just Fiends grip him up immediately. They do not want to mess around. I think Talon just need the space to farm right now, so they'll be happy with that kill. They'll be able to venture out of their base and find some areas of the map to actually secure some farm for themselves. But no, in fact, they're going to go for another fight. They didn't really need to pop any BKBs for that kill onto the Grimstroke, of course, so onto more they will try. A nice dire scan out is going to notice them in their dire triangle, though, so chances are nothing really comes out of this rotation for Talon. And Blacklist Rivalry, they're not going to pop their own smoke either to try and go for a chase. They're just going to let them walk away.
Yep. Maybe try to bait out with some illusions of the CK. Phantasm pop out by Natsumi. They are still holding the position by the tier 1 and are grouping up hard.
Oh, Gabby. Jump is there. They got the Nightmare off Akashi. In the meantime, forced to pop his BKB, but needs to get out. Too much damage from Natsumi. Chuen may just be left behind here as he can't outrun them. He'll try for a BKB TP away. The glimpse is not going to be enough. WS, however, he'll get left behind. So will Ponyo, and they're both going down. They are both dead. All you got out of that was Tim's on the Grimstroke. Now, even the chase top lane onto Jokam. They want to try and see if they can find the Hoodwink again, and I think Gabby's just about to. Oh!
Whoa.
Gabby! Whoopsie daisies, just kind of blinks north of Jokam. Completely avoids the hoodwink, I guess.
Yeah. Is a little bit of a bailout. Chase isn't over, though. Natsumi's still running around looking for more. At least Akashi does manage to bail out. With that triangle control, very easy for them to reposition here on the side of Blacklist. 9-20, 10k lead. Smooth going for Blacklist. They've got the full Yashikaya up for Abed. Woody Ags. And that reduced cast time on the Requiem. Combination up front here.
They'll finally find Jokam. Jokam, in fairness, he's buying a lot of space for his team. Just constantly creep skipping, not allowing Blacklist to really get to the high ground. So they will finally find the pesky hoodwink. But it is certainly allowing some time for Talon to get out of their base and try to get some farm going here on their cause. Just the thing is, you saw that last fight. Even with the BKBs up, if Natsumi gets the jump in, none of it matters. They've got so much right-click damage. They're going to head down towards the bottom lane. They'll see Natsumi. It'd be a massive pick-off if they can get it. Akashi's going to jump in, dismember immediately out, and they've got the Fiend Grip to follow up here by Ponyo, but where's your follow-up damage? It's not there yet. Natsumi, he'll get the strong Dispel out from the Grimstroke. They'll still chase down the CK. Natsumi maybe to set the fall and does. This could be the fight that Talon's been looking for. They'll rush for Abed, though Abed will just jump away with the Yogasil Totem, and now Akashi may have gone a bit too far. He does go down. Scabby will survive. Natsumi's back into the fight. He brought back on the CK. He will get a Bane for his trouble. A bit of a shame for Akashi. I mean, the fight seemed like it was going pretty well, but just unable to finish off Gabby and unable to catch Abed. It's just... he just melts. He has not got enough tank ability on this Pudge.
Not quite. Only the 4 stacks from the laning phase. 3 stacks from the laning phase, +1 off that kill. Not very tanky here at the moment. No armor source as well. Trying to go for the Shivas. That should help with the durability, but not quite there yet. Blacklist, really great positioning out from the supports. Getting the follow-through static storm there from Zhao made a world of difference. And cutting off Talon and trying to get that subsequent chase, especially as the BKBs faded early from Talon, popping it for that initial pickoff. Blacklist can start to position for Roche for a little bit of a fight top. Roche will spawn down bot. Try to see if anyone's straggling up top. Talon playing a lot more defensive, hanging back. Again, do need a lot of these armor items up to really stand a chance at this point. Even then, it does feel like the only spot where Talon can shine is in pickoffs. When it comes to the wider fights, it just doesn't line up. Blacklist, the smoke is a very long walk.
It's a long walk, but they're almost by Talon now. Ponyo might just break the smoke of Natsumi, but they barely avoid each other for now. Natsumi eventually going to see the Bane, but tries to move in. Ponyo trying his best to avoid this gank, but probably won't work. And yeah, the hook, a little bit short. Nice try, at least. At the end of the day, if you only found the Bane out of that 5-man smoke, it's a pretty decent deal for Talon. Problem is, Roshan's available.
It's going to be a nice quick take once more for Blacklist. No contest coming out here from Talon. Roche with a banner. Should lead to an easy high ground siege. Got the full heart running on Natsumi. 3.5k HP with an armlet on. Got the damage. Doesn't take too long for this one to melt. Talon. It's so hard to see the angles. And it feels best if they can find a way to split this up into individual pickoffs and try to break Blacklist apart from the 5-man that they want to take. It's just, I don't see Blacklist being that disorganized that they would just run in one by one. Aegis goes the way of Natsumi. They've got the banner up. All they need to do is knock on the last mid-tier 2. And they can set their eyes onto the high ground. Talon. Again, best bet on high ground. Some pretty sick hooks from Akashi, but that's easier said than done here.
I mean, Aegis will go the way of Blacklist. They're still just going to group up here in the mid lane, and lines are being drawn to the mid-tier 2 tower, of course, of Talon. And one or two bad team fights for Blacklist could throw this game right back the other way for Talon, but it just hasn't been happening at all. Blacklist have been very, very conservative with the way they've been playing this game, and very clean so far in Game 2, as Arbit now has a full Refresher Orb available. Even better for the SF.
Jeez. Double Requiem.
Oh,
Yeah,
they caught
it's
WS with
gonna
the
be
shivers, I
nasty.
think. Oh, no, they didn't. WS is alright. Hook off the mark. So Blacklist. Not finding the fight they're looking for. Paying a lot of respect here to Talon, just not willing to dive into any kind of awkward team fights here. They are still holding a pretty massive net worth lead. It's not too much of a rush here for Blacklist to try and make. I do get somewhat concerned about Blacklist giving too much time here to Talon. You know, you are going to get to a stage where maybe Akashi has a bit more armor, and perhaps those Phantasm illusions don't hurt as much, but I suppose we'll see. I mean, Akashi's working on towards the Shivers Guard now. You know, it's coming along.
It is. It's progressing. He's been trying to get this for quite some time now. You're also going to get more damage out from Chuen with a full Daedalus coming out. Should have enough for the Crystallis at the very least, but the Daedalus is still a long ways off. But once that's up, high ground can be a little bit tricky. Still, you are tanking up even more Natsumi. Full overwhelming blink up with a heart and armlet. And they are smoked up on Blacklist. Can go on a nice hunt here. Akashi is showing under the creep wave. Oh, he's walking up.
Oh, he is certainly walking up, but a nice blink away. Akashi's alright. Barely avoids the gank that was incoming. Blacklist do at least find a few D wards while they're around, as now they're chasing for Ponyo. Ponyo does get a nice little nightmare off onto Natsumi and just continues to run north. Meanwhile, Akashi actually gets away with his own Wisdom Rune. Just gets the hook off, and somehow nobody from Talon dies. Like, Blacklist have been roaming the map for I don't know how long trying to find a successful fight for themselves, but the best they're getting is this Bane. And the worst scenario is the Bane just gets away and nothing happens.
Yeah. And this is such an important stall for Talon. Again, I don't think Blacklist is under too much time pressure. They've got really good scaling. The solutions from Talon don't feel like it's all there. At the same time, you did bypass BKBs on your cores here on Blacklist's end. And if you are durable enough in Talon to stand up front, there is still some good magic damage to throw out. And Chuen in the backline once he has more up on that sniper. Mid-tier 2 gone. They still hold the Aegis. They've got the Roche banner as well. So nice easy siege onto the high ground. Not even fully committing. They've got an immune card here. Why bother throwing heroes out?
That's fair. They'll get the banner. Blacklist are being, again, very, very patient here. Just not willing to rush the high ground at all. WS can actually get his BKB off in time, avoiding the Requiem of Arbed, and high fives all around. He'll be fine to get out, as now maybe Talon venture out into the mid lane and try to find a fight knowing that Arbed is not there. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll just go back into their triangle and continue farming.
Yeah.
Take their outpost back as well while they're at it.
Build into that Shivas, build into the Silver Edge for Chuen. I'm surprised he didn't fully commit for the Daedalus, but maybe he wants a way to try to weave out, just in case he's jumped by someone like, say, a Natsumi. So he will at least have an escape mechanism outside of just a concussive grenade. They're hanging on to that high ground, Talon. They've done a great job for the past, it feels like, 17 to 20 minutes. Blacklist are constantly on the hunt. They want the pick-off. They will find one, but again, it's just Ponyo again. And Aegis actually expires. Talon have stalled long enough. Blacklist might have to consider another Roshan.
Oh, it's a very interesting game. Very frustrating game, I'm sure, for Blacklist Rivalry.
Look at Jokam. He's going for the Daedalus. He knows what's going on now.
Yeah? I like it.
It just takes me back to old Talon. Remember when the game would look atrocious and Q would become a carry? Jokam's gonna try to be that. Oh, goodness. The more things change, the more they stay the same, Mike.
Poor old Q. Things that man had to go through.
Him and Pato went through a lot.
Yeah.
Hell, a lot together.
Radiant are scanning.
We're 38 minutes in now. Still 11 to 25. Still a 17k advantage, but none of it matters if you can't find each other.
No.
It's a game of cat and mouse you're watching here, ladies and gentlemen. We aren't watching Dota 2 anymore. Here we go again. 5-man smoke out from Talon. They're going to head through the top lane. Pings are coming out towards the northern side of the map, so it looks like they're just trying to relocate to farm the area. But maybe they could hope for somebody to try and farm this creep wave, which appears to be what they're doing. But Blacklist aren't really split up either. I mean, it's mostly just Arbor that's splitting up from his team. The rest of the gang is usually just together as 4. And this smoke, sadly, will once again amount to nothing.
They get what the heck is happening? Damage output from Talon is actually there. And this build-up on Chuen has paid off. And Corrosive Haze is doing a ton of work to enable that. That and the magical damage out from Akashi still hurts. especially if you can focus down without Dismember. 15 to 32, still a 19k lead for Blacklist. But after all this effort, again, the high ground's still fairly secure. Only the tier 3 bot falling. Talon have been hanging on. They do lose the secondary life. It is a little bit riskier now to try that same move again. Blacklist having good overwatch right around the mid area and in the forward area of mid as well, right by the tier 1. Can try to spot out smokes and rotations. Does feel like they have to wait for that next rush, and they cannot allow Talon to find it once more. Of course, you can't always just look to force the issue. Ag Static Storm from Zhao is going to cause a lot of hurt in the middle of these engagements. Shall see. But Talon hanging on. They have an 11% chance to win. Blacklist still heavily favored, of course. But somehow they're picking off Natsumi. No, maybe, Mike, without the center of Gavi to save Natsumi, it falls apart.
I mean, that might just be the case, honestly. I mean, it feels like Arbit's the real carry of this game here on the SF. He's 15-1-10 at the moment. He's trying his absolute darndest to make this game 2 work. You start to get very worried if you are Blacklist soon, because, I mean, Chuen's working on towards the full Daedalus now. You know, and he's been lacking a lot of damage on that sniper, but it's slowly starting to ramp up. You talked about the Daedalus earlier about with Joe Cam. I mean, he ends up building a Chrysalis and just decides to go into the BKB instead, which I think is absolutely fair enough. BKB now available in the Hoodwink, so he's not quite as easy to burst down. I honestly believe like a couple more defenses on the high ground, and this game just turns on its head. In fact, top lane. Abed's been caught by a nightmare of Ponyo, forcing 4 rotations to ensure he does not die. He'll Wind Waker away. They'll have a look for Ponyo, but Ponyo's right through the Twin Gates. And Talon are still finding ways to buy more time.
This is outrageous. This is... I can't believe it. Entirely different roster, and what we're getting is pretty much peak Old Town.
Just say it's same shit, John. That's a different day, same shit.
Exactly the same. Oh, this could be it.
Here we go. Oh, jump is there. Akashi, who's he going to go for? Natsumi, he's very far forward already, trying to go after the Bane. They do get Ponyo, but they've already found Zhao as well, the Disruptor. Here comes the Requiem from Arbed, and what a Requiem it is! With the arenas out from Gabi, they absolutely melt. Now finding Chuan. That'll be another. And this game now should be over. I would argue that the cat and mouse games are done.
That should be it. Abed saves the day with the Requiems. You managed to get that good positioning out, playing under the obs. Do manage to ruin Talon. They have buybacks on 2, but none on WS. And that feels like a very integral part of allowing that damage from Chuan to come in. We'll buy back on the 1. Can't really hold the high ground with just 2 heroes, though. Should be able to find a Rax off the back of this for Blacklist. Bot set to fall, mid to follow. If they could find everything if Talon don't buy back on Akashi. Just no play for the sniper.
Well, mid tier 3 tower going to go down as well. There's no real defense to come here as Blacklist Rivalry looking to take this game 2 and force it to a game 3. Here comes the final defense. Akashi's going to buy back. The whole of Blacklist Rivalry immediately retreat towards the top lane where the final lane of barracks is standing. Hex now available on Arbed. Talon not out of the game yet, but Gabi's looking to move in. He's found an arena. He's got the sniper locked down. The Nightmare's not going to save either. Chuen is locked. He is gone. Akashi's trying to fight this one out. Arbed will just Wind Waker away. Now Natsumi will take down the punch.
That should be it.
That is it. You've got to call. We are going to a game 3 whether Talon like it or not.
That they do. The Pudge last pick, an interesting idea. Doesn't quite pan out for Talon, and again, going back to the sniper just does not feel great. Abed with a runway start. We'll see one last attempt here by WS. Without the backup of Chuen or Akashi, this does not feel like something they can get done here.
Well, they jump Natsumi. Natsumi will just happily stand it. Oh, Natsumi's dropping.
Wait, what?
Natsumi's actually about to die, but WS is gone and that'll be it. I mean, WS, he's hitting like an absolute truck, but it doesn't matter in the end. GG is cool.
A great plays out from Blacklist, all stemming off the back of this amazing start for Abed, bullying out Chuwen. The sniper solution up against the SF did